It is beautiful out there for our last day of August. And for the last year and a half when I've been doing my spraying, I've been using this jar here to dip my little toothbrush in whenever I want to clean the end of the nozzle off. You probably noticed yesterday I had to stop a few times. The styrene res it dries so quickly that the paint will build up over the end of the inside the nozzle here, not inside the nozzle itself, but on the end of the nozzle, and then it will the airflow is spoiled and it won't act as a venturi and suck the paint out of the reservoir here. So that's why I had to periodically stop, dip my toothbrush in there, and then I sort of scrub it clean. And I find that with the styrene res, I have to do that a lot more than I do with the Tamiya XF paints. And I can well imagine that if I was to use enamel paints, now I don't know, I'm only guessing, I think that enamel paints would have even less of a tendency to dry quickly on the end of your nozzle. Anyway, what I was noticing is, and I don't know why I haven't changed this sooner, is that I can't drop my toothbrush down inside there because it makes it hard to pick it up after, when I want to do this in a hurry. So I'm going to just switch here and just use a little pint jar here, or 500 milliliter. Yeah, I got lots of these. I'm just going to try and salvage as much of this isopropyl 70% as I can. It's getting pretty grungy, but I believe that it's been sitting overnight, so excuse me, most of the sediment will have gone to the bottom. So if I pour slowly here, I should be able to get the stuff off the top, which should be fairly clear. Okay. Now the sludge is on the bottom. All right. Now before I get to spraying our deck tan on, I've got to try and reposition my masking tape here. You'll notice it's come off right here. And I was noticing yesterday when I was painting the styrene res white, or maybe I should say after I had painted it, I realized that there were places that I had forgotten to press this down and make sure that it's tight against the top of the gunnel. It has a tendency to want to slowly pull loose. So anyway, I want to try and see if I can't just repair this right here before we start. Oh, speaking of the styrene res, somebody asked me, I don't know if it was in yesterday's episode or not, what do I think of it? Well, all I can do is give you my unprofessional opinion of it. I think it is really, really good. I think it sticks to whatever it's in other words, if I used it as a primer on the deck, it would probably stick to the deck really, really well. And I imagine that whatever you put on top of it then would stick to this equally as well. I mean, as a primer, I think it's probably great. It was expensive. I got these three all came together. I got them from Amazon. I forget how much they were delivered to the house here in Winnipeg. I think it was around $30. It's quite a while ago now. A person has a tendency at first to think, oh my goodness, they're so expensive. But there's where is it here? I read 60 milliliters. There's 60 milliliters in one of these, whereas these little Tamiya things, the label's gone, but I believe they're 10. So you get 10 times as much paint, but it's not 10 times as expensive. Now, will this last as long before it goes hard on you? I don't know. And what the proper thinner to use on this, I don't know. You wouldn't want to be adding something to your styrene res that's going to make it, harden or gel on you, if you know what I mean. Anyway. Okay, it seems to be alright from here on. So it's just every time I have to do something like this, I think to myself, I should have painted the deck separately. One of the viewers says that he always paints his deck separately, and but before he does, he makes sure that it's going to fit properly, so if there's any problems, he can, fix it. Alright, now let's see if we can get this on top here, and be very careful not to pull it off. I hope I'm not getting my hands in your way. I'm not watching my monitor, so if I'm doing that, sorry about that. I'm noticing that there's going to be a lot of places that I'm going to have to go around with the paintbrush and take my number 22 and paint the top of the gunnels. I think the main thing is making sure that I keep it off the sides of the hull, and this will do that, but there's going to be places that it's just going to get underneath, like right here it's coming off sort of, and I can't do anything about it, so I'm just going to put up with it. Brand new jar. Don't want to get a piece of masking tape in my brand new jar. I saw what I believe to be a very experienced modeler say, when you thin out your Tamiya jars like this, just take a brand new jar and thin it out till it gets to where the neck starts and the bottle stops, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's shake that up really good. Okay. There. T for thinned. I'd probably remember anyway. Now, what did we conclude that these things weighed when they were new? Was it 51 grams or? Okay, 50.3. And this is the one that we added, the thinner to. So we added about, it looks like about 4 milliliters there to it. So if it was 10 and now it's 14, okay, I think that's probably thinned out pretty good. You hear people saying how they go 50-50. Well, I don't think we need to go 50-50. Now, before we get to spraying our deck tan, I'm noticing that there's a lot of other places where there is the teak planking, like this piece here, for instance. This piece here is this part right here, and the back part of it, this is the stern by the way, that way. The back part is teak planking. The front part is some sort of, well, something else. You can see it's dark here. Alright, so there's that. Now there's a lot of other places where there is decking where people walk. What do we got here? This is some sort of superstructure, I guess, that will go on top of here somewhere, I would think. Don't know where else it would go. And not seeing any planking on that at all. Same thing with these parts here. I'm not seeing any planking. And there's some more. It's obviously deck, but it's not planked deck. It's probably some sort of metal plate, I would imagine. We had that on the Bismarck, if you remember. I painted them some sort of a dark gray. And I'm probably going to do that again with this. Alright. So I'm kind of thinking that it might be a good idea if I was to, as long as I'm set up to spray the deck tan, maybe I should be painting this as well. Which means I probably want to put masking tape over some of these little places that, you know, I don't want to obliterate the detail with deck tan. You know, like there's little handles and stuff like that you can see there. Maybe I'll put the macro lens on so that you can see it. I know it's only about 25 to 2 in the afternoon here. I do have time to start painting, but I just want to know what I want to do here and not rush into this. Now, it had sort of been my plan, or maybe my hope, that when it comes to painting this, I could sort of have it maybe laying at a bit of a 45-degree angle, and then I can paint both sides at the same time and just, you know, move the hull along in front of the spray booth as I come to it, as I need to. But I'm sort of wondering now, let me move this out of the way. How would it be if I was to have the hull right close to the edge of the table where I can sort of stand up and kind of look almost straight down on this side as well. I wouldn't really need to tilt it, and then just move my spray booth this way. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here. Right now it's 5 to 3. Yeah, we gotta wind this video up here. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow, and maybe I'll have made up my mind.